Welcome to Drawfee, where we take dumb ideas
And make even dumber drawings.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Julia.
I'm Jacob.
Guys, you did a fun thing while I was away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made you guys, you have to do it again, but with me.
Okay.
Nathan felt left out of our last anime history jaunt.
We're doing anime history again, if you couldn't tell from the title of this video. It was a hit. People loved it. There were too many people who said we should do this again for us to name them all. So I'm just going to name Amanda DeCarly because she specifically said you should do it again, but with me. but with Nathan. So
Extra Nathan this time, please.
So you get the shout out. But yeah, thanks for everyone liking that video. I like that video a lot too. I learned a lot. And
I love history.
History. This is the least dumb video we could do.
Yeah, it really is.
We do a little learn.
I was super glad people liked it because as soon as we finished recording that, we were all like, we want to do more of those.
Yeah.
Like that was fun to do, and I felt inspired and like we learned cool stuff.
Yes. It was very cool. So I'm going to get started with my historical figure that I actually got from another suggestion from Natalie Spradley, who said I should draw Wojtek, the soldier bear, which sounds made up,
That
right?
sounds made up.
It sounds absolutely made up.
Natalie, it's got to be a real character.
Guys, check this out. There was a bear in the Polish army in World War II. Named Wojtek.
Excuse me?
It's spelled Wojtek.
Nothing in the rule book says a bear can't be in the army.
But it's pronounced Wojtek. It's a cool story. There's like a lot of stuff involving just sort of World War II history and sort of the politics of that time that I might get wrong. Basically, like Poland got super fucked over in World War II.
Yes, they did.
They got invaded by Germany and then also invaded by the Soviet Union.
And they're just like, wow, cool, great, thanks guys.
Soviets
Cool,
were
yeah,
not
anyone else
great.
want to invade?
Yeah, they got all hecked up in World War II. And so basically there were a bunch of Polish citizens who had been taken to Soviet gulags. And then through a series of just sort of like politics stuff that I didn't do the best research. I mostly was learning about the bear.
Yeah, the bear is the focal point.
This
here.
is important backstory.
Okay, yeah.
For whatever reason, a bunch of Polish citizens ended up sort of under British command in the Middle East, in Iran specifically. And some kids found a bear cub whose parents had been killed by hunters.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So that's the tragic anime backstory.
This is literally like
bear.
stuff that happens in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Uh-huh.
Like you find a puppy and bring it back to base, and then it becomes a dog that helps you.
Yeah, so that's basically what happened. This bear basically got raised by this crew of people, and it basically was raised like a person. They fed it cigarettes and beer
Wonderful.
and vodka.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
It,
So
like-
it was drunk off its ass.
Yeah, it was drunk off its ass. It would eat and smoke cigarettes. It would wrestle with the soldiers, and it was just like a huge morale boost. Everyone loved this bear.
Oh my god, I love this bear.
Yeah.
This bear is phenomenal.
I'm giving him boots in this drawing. What happened was they had to move. They were moving onto a British transport ship with the rest of the Polish number 2 court. Oh boy. Any World War II history people in the comments, just drag me.
Drag Nathan to hell, please.
For butchering this. I just think the bear is cool, guys. I don't know how to say all the military stuff. I'm sorry. But basically, to get him onto this transport, they couldn't get him on the transport because he was a bear. But there was
There
nothing.
is something in the rule book that says a bear cannot go on a
But there's
transport.
nothing in the rule book that says a bear can't be made a soldier. And by making the bear a soldier, they had to let it on the transport.
Dang, you got us.
Yeah, so they enlisted the bear right then and there. They enlisted him as a private.
Did the bear have to
Great.
like sign some paperwork? Or
I
anything?
don't know the specifics of it. I think he probably just like smoked a cigarette and everyone was like, "Damn, this bear's cool."
This bear's cool as hell. We want him on the boat.
So they enlisted the bear. He was enlisted as a private, but I think he was discharged as a corporal. So it somehow got promoted.
Oh my god. Imagine being the dude who doesn't get promoted. He's like, what? I'm not as good as this bear?
Listen, the bear was very good.
Do you see this bear, my dude? No, you're not as good as the bear. No one's as good as the bear.
Wojtek's like big moment happened in the Battle of Monte Cassino in Italy, where it was apparently like a brutal battle, and the bear was separated from its normal handler and was just sort of chained up near the other soldiers, and saw what the other soldiers were doing and just started doing it too, and was just started carrying artillery shells over like crates of artillery shells over to where the people needed them.
He just wanted to help.
He just wanted to help. So I'm sort of animating him up. He's got artillery shell sword.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, like basically he became the mascot for the Polish army in World War II after this battle. They put him on a flag. There's a statue.
That's so awesome. I love that they just managed to have a real good time with this bear during a very tragic period of our world history.
Yeah. This bear did it. That's so anime. Just like being orphaned because your parents were killed by humans and then joining some other humans to help them fight a war that's not your war.
Yeah.
But
they're your family.
They were kind to you and they became your family.
Do you think they ever had to have like a sit down where the bear was like, listen, I know you guys, I got some baggage with people. We got some bad history. But to me, you guys are my new family. Like, there's a really heartwarming moment, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe there's like one holdout in the army that doesn't accept the bear. Like maybe bears killed his family.
Oh, yeah. And then together they can,
get
over
like,
their shared trauma.
It's like, listen, humans killed my family, but I still trust you. It's like, dang, you got a point.
Not all bears are the same, just like not all humans are the same.
Not all humans are the same. And then he like carries him to safety.
Yeah. I feel like actually the bear's voice would be more like, not all bears are the same.
Yeah.
Not all humans
Well,
are
I
the
think
same.
the bear starts off as a boy. So I think this anime like follows, maybe there's a time jump at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's definitely the training period. Also for this bear, you may have noticed I've left the bear's face undrawn. It's because I do need to, so far this is just a drawing. Like the plot is pretty anime, but I want to do one of my favorite things that I've seen in an anime, which is in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There's a character named Iggy who is a dog. And when Iggy is first introduced, it just looks like a dog. And over the course of the anime, the illustrator just got tired of drawing a dog's face. And so eventually the eyes move closer and closer together until it's just a person's face on a dog's body.
Perfect.
And I think that's what happened with Wojtek. By being around people so much,
he got a man's face.
He got a man's face.
His face became a man's face.
I should say the end of Wojtek's story is they ended up going to Scotland, and he spent the rest of his life living in the Edinburgh Zoo.
How is it that a bear has traveled more than me?
I really wish I had an animal companion, especially an animal that's not supposed to be a companion. Those are the best ones.
Right. Like bears are huge and terrifying, but I guess if like you socialize it around people for long enough.
I mean, that bear, there was a good chance that bear could have just gone off and murdered everyone at any point.
Right. Like, and
no one could have really stopped it.
There's no reasoning with a beast, but I guess the answer is feed it beer and cigarettes.
Yeah, get the bear addicted to your human vices.
Apparently, like, people would, while it was in the zoo, would just still toss it cigarettes. And it would just eat them because it couldn't get a light.
So it's like, well, I'm going to get it one way or another.
We need a name for this anime. I mean, it could just be Wojtek's Bizarre Adventure because they literally did so much traveling and had such an adventure.
This bear is cultured as all hell.
Yeah, that's my historical figure.
I'm into it.
It's a bear. Oops. Keeping with my theme of just drawing dogs and other animals. Jacob, are you up next?
Yes, my dude. I'm up next.
Jacob, teach me. Teach me about the world.
My historical figure is Bass Reeves.
Okay.
What a cool
who
name.
was the first black deputy U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi River.
Whoa.
So this dude is incredibly rad. So this guy, Bass Reeves, was born into slavery in 1838. He was a slave for a good portion of his life, up until the Civil War. It's kind of up to debate as to what exactly happened. The popular tale is that he got into a dispute over a card game with his owner George Reeves, and just beat the crap out of him and then left.
Good. Good.
Incredible.
But other accounts say that he saw like the writing on the wall in terms of like slavery coming to an end, and he was like, oh, well,
I'm out.
If I'm not going to be a slave anymore, then I may as well just go ahead and leave now. Like, what's the point of hanging around?
Be an early adopter.
Yeah, I'm going to be an early adopter.
Freedom.
People will, think that I'm really rad later on. They'll be like, wow, this guy did it before anyone else. But I'm personally a fan of the card game story.
That's definitely a great
That
scene.
he just decked his owner and then was like, ooh, well,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
guess I gotta go.
Uh-huh.
And he runs off into the Indian Territory of Oklahoma, which at the time was not under any like federal jurisdiction. It was, Native American land. So he ran off into Indian Territory, and he lived with various Indian tribes, the Cherokees, the Seminoles, and the Creek Indians at different times. So while he was doing that, he learned all of their languages and all of their customs, and also learned like their tracking skills.
Oh, hell yeah.
So this is like
Okay.
one of those stories, like this would be in an anime, the arc where, like the character goes off to live with like people that he doesn't understand. And he's like, how will I ever get by? But then they end up bonding and he learns like their ways and grows more powerful as a result.
That's so cool.
So he learns all this stuff. And not only that, but that's also when he like started honing his firearm skills.
Right.
So he became like a pistol sharpshooter during this
Ooh.
time as well.
So he was just learning all of the ancient tracking techniques, and then also
learning, yeah, how to just like
the relatively new technique of just gun murder.
just pistol shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned very good pistol shooting. Also,
What
he
a combo! What a spec combo! Just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you were building a RPG character. It's
Totally.
I want some ancient tracking and then just some sweet gun skills.
and not only that, but he was ambidextrous.
Ooh.
So he learned how to shoot with both of his hands. So he would usually carry two pistols.
Dual
And,
wielding.
and he could do them both like just as well with either hand. Yeah, so he's out there in Indian Territory learning all these cool skills. It's said also, and this is just like a little fun fact that I like a lot, it's also said that he claimed to be only fair with a rifle, but apparently every time he tried to enter into a competitive turkey shoot, no one would let him. So he was always going around like, I'm pretty good with pistols, but, I'm just okay with rifles. And they're like, Bass, we know, dude, if we let you in this competition,
You're gonna win.
you're going to win. You're going to wreck everybody. You do it every time. Like, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You're incredibly good.
He was tournament banned. He was OP.
Yeah, he was OP and he was tournament banned. That's absolutely true. So he's hanging out in Indian Territory, kind of hiding out, waiting for, slavery to be over, which is a reasonable thing to do. So he moves to Arkansas, starts a farm, gets married, has like 11 kids, and he's basically just like hanging out on this farm for a while, like living his life with his wife. And this is where one of those moments happens that's like from the movies where they're like, I thought I was out, but they pull me right back in.
Commando.
Exactly. Basically, what happened was Isaac Parker was appointed federal judge for the Indian Territory. The government decided Indian Territory is too lawless. All the outlaws are going there because there's no government, there's no rule there. So they can go and just kind of escape into it and then do whatever they want, and no one, brings them to justice.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Isaac Parker, hires James F. Fagan as a U.S. Marshal and tells him to find 200 deputy marshals to help, tame the area. This guy has, of course, heard about Bass Reeves and his exploits, and that he knows the territory, he knows the language, he knows how to track, he knows how to shoot, and he's like, I gotta get this guy. So he goes and picks up Bass Reeves as a deputy marshal. Like I said, the first black deputy marshal west of the Mississippi. This dude was so killer at what he did that not even horrible racism could keep him from doing it. So, and now here's where he actually gets even radder.
Oh my God.
As if that was...
He's not rad enough.
He was already so rad.
He was already so rad, but he just keeps getting radder basically his whole life. He worked for 32 years as a deputy, and he
that's
brought
not that
in
rad.
some of the most dangerous criminals of the time, but was never wounded.
Oh my God.
Just to give you an idea about what some of the most dangerous criminals means, he brought in over 3,000 outlaws
Excuse me?
in his time as a deputy and was never wounded, even though on separate occasions his hat was shot off and his belt was shot off.
How do you get your belt shot off and
Without
not,
being wounded?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Julia. I don't know the answer. Maybe you should ask Bass Reeves.
I would if he were here, but he ain't. I do
So-
like people who have just crazy skills and who are the best at things, but just quietly live in the middle of nowhere, just ignoring the fact that they are the coolest and the best at the thing that they do.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, the guy who recruited him did not actually kidnap his daughter. He
No one kidnapped
He just
his daughter.
offered him his okay.
Yes.
He just offered him a job, and he was like, okay.
It's also worth noting, I think this is a very important thing, especially for our anime adaptation here, that he was a noted spiffy dresser.
Ooh.
He always had his boots polished to a fine shine, and he always wore a large hat, which is I'm going to get to. It's got to be really big
Right.
because this
I mean,
is
that's
anime.
that's what's always getting shot off. People see the hat and they're like, it's the biggest target. I'll aim for the hat. And
Yeah,
then
they're like, wow, he must have a giant head under
it
there.
must be for his giant head.
If I shoot anywhere on that hat, I'll get him.
The hitbox.
I keep having to make it smaller as I make him
on
taller.
that hat. Oh yeah.
So yeah, hitbox on the hat.
Right. So he's 6'2", but his hat makes him like a good 7 feet.
Yeah, he's 7 feet tall with hat included.
hat
It's
and
very
boot.
hard for him to enter buildings.
And the hat's got a big target on it.
Yeah. So everyone.
So like people couldn't resist. So yeah, he's a spiffy dresser, but also had like superior detective skills that he developed over the course of like doing all this work. And so he would often go under aliases and in disguises to capture outlaws. One of the notable stories about this guy is that he went to this woman's house who was the mother of these two outlaw sons. Basically, he pretended to be like a weary traveler and a beggar. And he came to her door and was like, oh, I'm so tired. I've been pursued by outlaws, or I'm pursued by lawmen. And he's like, he had like holes in his hat because I guess his hat's always getting shot off.
Yeah, I mean, it's so big.
And so he's like, I'm pursued by lawmen. I'm exhausted. Can I please rest, at your house? And so she says yes. He goes in to stay. And as he's doing it, he pretends that he's like fed up with the government and the lawmen. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you know who you should meet? My two horrible sons.
Two horrible sons.
I've only got two, and they're both horrible.
They're both horrible.
My large adult horrible sons.
You should meet my horrible sons, and they also love to do crime. And he's like, that sounds awesome. I'd love to do that. So the sons come back. They all meet. He's like, yeah, I'm totally going to do crimes with you guys. Can I stay here overnight? And then in the morning, we'll do some crime. And they're like, totally, man. Absolutely stay. And then once they went to sleep, he handcuffed them in their sleep without waking them up. And so in the morning, he kicked them awake. He was like, sup, fuckers? You got. It's me, Bass Reeves. And they're like, oh, damn it. Bass Reeves got me again. And apparently, like, the mother, like, followed him all the way back to, like, town, just cursing his name while he dragged her two awful sons to jail. So he was doing awesome stuff like that all the time,
Oh, my God.
which is incredibly cool. But also he had like a really big mustache, which I do need to get in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a really big, awesome mustache. By far the biggest case that he had was the one of his own son who murdered his wife in a fit of jealousy.
Whoa.
So Bass Reeves comes back from being out there busting outlaws and finds a warrant for his own son's arrest, having murdered his wife. And so all the other deputies were like, we're not taking that one. We got to leave this to see what Bass Reeves wants to do. And Bass Reeves, shaken to his core, says, I should be the one responsible for bringing my own son to justice. Goes out there 2 weeks later, comes back with his son in tow, throws him in jail for life. But due to good behavior, he got out of jail and apparently lived as a model citizen for the rest of his days.
Model citizen. Yeah, I did murder my wife, but that was a long time ago.
It was just one.
It was just one murder.
Here's like all the outlaws that he's brought in, which I'll detail them more later. But they're all kind of like, chained together. He would like go out for long periods of time and just catch a bunch of outlaws and just chain them all together.
Oh,
and then bring them all back.
That's fun. So you get
and just like reap these monetary rewards.
different groups of side characters for different arcs. Just
yeah. So here's like all of his outlaws. They're just kind of like shuffling along like, man, I should have known Bass Reeves was going to get me. He gets everyone. This sucks. And the last thing before I finish up here.
What else could be in this dude's story?
Well, it's a couple things. One thing is that a lot of people believe that he was the original inspiration for the Lone Ranger.
Oh.
Okay.
Like 100 years before the Lone Ranger existed. There's not really any like historical evidence that that's actually true, but a lot of historians, or some historians I should say, seem to believe that it is likely.
Cool.
Based on his exploits. And then just to finish up, there's a couple quotes about him that I really like. This one was in the Oklahoma City Weekly Times Journal.
Okay.
And it said, Reeves was never known to show the slightest excitement under any circumstance. He does not know what fear is.
Jesus.
So he was incredibly stoic, riding around busting outlaws. And then when he died, in his obituary, it described him as absolutely fearless and knowing no master but duty.
Wow.
It's like, damn, dude.
Damn.
I want my obituary to say that. So yeah, that's Bass Reeves. He's rad as hell. Oh, also, I should say that I got the idea to do him from Jonas Clark in the comments. So thank you, Jonas Clark, for suggesting people to do. I was super happy to learn about this guy. Julia, get in here.
I want to do a famous person.
Do a learn.
So we're covering some bases here. Jacob's drawn a dude. Nathan's drawn a bear. You know, that base. That base that we needed to cover.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to draw a badass lady.
Nice.
Love a badass lady.
I'm drawing Bessie Stringfield. Bessie Stringfield is awesome and badass, and she like exhibits something that I just find to be the coolest thing, which is just like quiet but strong rebellion. So Bessie Stringfield was a Jamaican American woman. No one really knows when she was born. It was either like March of 1912 or March of 1911, and then they don't know when she died.
It was definitely a March, though.
Yeah, and then it said that she was born in North Carolina, but she also was maybe born in Jamaica. It's very confusing.
Okay.
But anyway,
mystery surrounding her origins. I like someone with a mysterious origin.
She's so mysterious.
You either
it's
need
great.
to have a tragic origin or a mysterious origin.
Yeah, it's also like not confirmed what her original like birth name is. It's
okay.
Oh
it's
man,
great.
she just came out of nowhere and decided to be awesome.
Yeah. So her deal, and I've cursed myself because now I have to draw this.
She was a motorcycle.
She was.
She transformed into a motorcycle.
Yeah, we've covered the bases. Jacob drew a boy. Jacob drew a dude. Nathan drew an animal. I drawn a motorcycle.
Jacob did draw a man who's named after a fish.
That's true. And they sometimes call a motorcycle a hog.
Well, there you go.
So that's like an animal too.
So anyway, so she really just liked to sort of ride motorcycles. So when World War II swung around and she was living in the States, she joined this division in the army. And keep in mind, this is a Jamaican American woman.
They let her enlist?
Yeah, she joined the motorcycle division.
What?
Motorcycle
Why have I not known that
division?
existed until just now?
So basically what they
World
did...
War II was crazy. They had bears, they had motorcycle divisions. There's no wonder that, like, all comic book characters have, like, some sort of World War II part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's just a free-for-all.
We can just do whatever we want.
The world's gone insane.
No bad ideas.
No bad ideas here.
Brainstorming sesh, yeah.
Yeah. So she joined the motorcycle division, and what the motorcycle division was that they relayed information across the country. So she would have to send a message like across the entire United States by driving through it. But she was both, again, a woman and a woman of color. So in a lot of states, you know, she would try to, you know, despite the fact that she was serving her country, people like wouldn't give her rooms and stuff because they were racist, awful humans. So she would just like sleep on her motorcycle.
Sleep on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem comfortable.
That doesn't seem like comfy.
It's not great, but she loved it because she loved her motorcycle. She loved just riding around and doing her job and doing her duty.
Julia, you're drawing a great motorcycle here, but
Yeah.
this is an anime. Is the motorcycle a character that can talk?
It's possible. Maybe like only she can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when someone has like a sword that talks to them. It's
Yeah.
similar.
So anyway, so she served her country. She was the first, she might have been like the first woman or first woman of color to drive across the country. But not only did she do it once, she did it like 8 times.
That's so much driving.
That's so much
That's
driving.
a lot of driving, yeah. And that's
But
before Google Maps.
yeah, she just had to,
just
she has to go.
She just had to know where she was going.
Oh, also speaking of horrible racist people, the other problem that she ran into is that in a lot of southern and midwestern states, white dudes would try to run her off the road with their pickup trucks.
Jesus. She's on like a military motorcycle,
She's like doing her job,
serving her country more
serving
than
her
they
country.
are.
Yeah. So in one state, and I'm forgetting which one it is, she was riding her motorcycle. And remember, you know, she has all these qualifications from, you know, the military and doing all these cool things and, you know, driving her motorcycle just flipping everywhere. Like she has proven that she can drive this motorcycle quite competently.
Yeah.
And she was driving through some town, and all of the cops from the town said that, in polite terms, a woman and a woman of color could never ride a motorcycle. Like, it was just unheard of. And
It's like,
that,
I think, do you see me
Do you
riding
see me
this
doing it?
motorcycle?
I'm doing the thing.
I'm doing the dang thing.
So the part that I like about her was that she was like, all right, you said that I can't. Let's go to your police chief. And they went to the police chief, and the police chief was like, yeah, no, I agree with my cops. And she goes, okay. She's like, all right, follow me. So they went to some place, I think it was a parking lot, and she did like all of these amazing stunts.
Oh, she did some
Yes.
stunts.
And she like just above and beyond so proved that she was so damn good at riding this motorcycle that this racist police chief cop was like, yeah, no, I got nothing to say to this. This is amazing.
It's like, boys, you saw the stunts.
You gotta, like, listen.
Listen.
I hate to tell you this, but racism is over now on
You know,
account of these stunts.
We can't be racist about this anymore.
We'll find something else for sure because we're terrible.
But imagine being so good at stunts that you defeat racism.
I love when stupid people are shown up by just a very quiet, just like, all right,
I'll just do the.
let me show you something, and they're just like, oh shit.
You can't beat somebody, like, if somebody's that good at something,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can say that will make them not good at it.
Undeniable, yeah.
So
just be undeniable. And
she's
it's
just
like,
so
oh.
good. I think, like, I don't know if she smoked, but I feel like in this
Probably she did. It
scene,
was
the
30
40s.
The 40s, yeah.
Even bears smoked.
even bears were smoking.
Yeah, even the bear smoked, so it's, likely that she did. Yeah, so when the war ended, she loved motorcycle riding so much that she kept on doing it. Because, I mean, when
Do
you're
what you
when you're
love.
that good at a thing.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
why stop?
Yeah, so she founded a motorcycle stunt group.
What?
So she founded a motorcycle stunt group called Iron Horse Motorcycle Club.
Iron
Yeah,
Horse,
she did.
Iron Horse is definitely the name of this anime.
Absolutely.
right?
It
Iron
is.
Horse, yeah. And she was so dang good at motorcycle stunts that she earned one name first, and then it later became the Motorcycle Queen of Miami.
Okay, that's another
God, that's
good.
cool.
Iron Horse, the motorcycle queen of Miami.
There it is. Yep, absolutely. 100%.
Isn't that just, like, the coolest?
I'd love to be the motorcycle queen of anywhere.
This is the feeling that I had watching the last episode, which is just like, it feels good to learn a thing, to just learn that a person could be so cool.
Yeah.
Because knowing that another person could be so cool, it's like, well, maybe more people can be that cool.
Yeah.
Also.
Maybe I can be cooler.
No.
Oh.
That's not.
I can't. I can't be cooler.
You can maybe. I was thinking of myself. It gives me hope for humanity in general.
But not for you.
I've accepted my station. I'm okay.
You're as cool as you're getting.
I'm all right. I'm not gonna be convincing anyone of anything through stunts. I'm not changing anyone's mind in general, but certainly not because of any sort of stunts.
Right, yeah. I think we should start incorporating more stunts into Drawfee.
Just some Drawfee stunts.
Some art stunts.
The only art stunts I've done was I ate the ghost pepper.
Oh, yeah, you
And
did.
I didn't do a very good drawing. My computer started freezing up, I think because my movements were becoming so erratic. If you want to go back and watch that episode. Some mountains.
Yeah, I'm picturing her like in like Monument Valley kind of setting.
Yeah.
Like the desert.
Well, awesome. Guys, this is so fun. I love doing these episodes. I learn a lot and I didn't think I'd be doing that.
Yeah, it's great. Let us know more historical figures in the comments that you'd want to see us cover on this.
I know we did.
I certainly want to do it again.
We
yeah,
did
me too.
Pretty much, 1800s on for this episode. I know a lot of people were asking us to do more like medieval history and that sort of thing.
I am totally down for medieval
And,
history. It's my favorite period of history.
I've also seen the suggestion to do anime villains with sort of a more bad historical figures and make them the bad guys.
Yeah, so maybe we'll
So we could do something like that too.
We'll do some of that. Thank you all for watching. Let us know if there's anyone you want to see on the episode. If it's me, I might read your comment. Go ahead and subscribe to Drawfee if you don't already. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Tell your friends about it, and then you can find all of our social info in the description. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch. We've got a newsletter, we've got a store. It's all there. History's cool, anime is fun, bears and cigarettes.
We're sorry.
Sorry.